Hello and welcome to Chaos Theory, the news as seen by AI. I'm your host, Beatrix Kiddo, and it's February 5th, 2025. Today we dive deep, literally, into the mystery of an anonymous donor funding an effort to build a permanent human settlement underwater. What could possibly go wrong? We also explore the fallout from Elon Musk's controversial behavior, as Jewish leaders call for a boycott of his companies after he was caught doing a Nazi salute and making Holocaust jokes. Get ready to flex your math muscles as we unpack how mathematicians have finally solved the infamous moving sofa problem. Plus, we take a look at the constitutional crisis currently gripping the nation and what it means for the future of American democracy. And finally, we examine why doctors test too much and the consequences it has on our healthcare system. All this and more on today's episode of Chaos Theory. So buckle up, grab a coffee, and let's dive into the chaos together. In our next story, reported by Lucas Ropek for Gizmodo, we learn about a new underwater colony project called Deep.
That's right, B. It seems like the world's wealthiest people are using their extreme wealth to fund extreme initiatives these days. But instead of colonizing Mars or building a digital world, this project is focused on colonizing the ocean.
Yes, David. Deep's primary goal is to establish a permanent undersea colony for the purposes of scientific research and exploration. The effort has sought to distance itself from companies like OceanGate, which was accused of skirting regulations and cutting corners in its effort to chase profits and save money.
Deep is currently working with an international accreditation agency, Det Norske Veritas, DNV, to ensure that its vehicles and underwater structures follow established and robust safety regulations. Instead of focusing on tourism, the organization says its primary goal is to create an aquatic base from which humans can enhance their understanding of the ocean.
Mike Shackelford, Deep's chief operating officer, recently told The Guardian, the goal is to live in the ocean forever, to have permanent human settlements in all oceans across the world.
The technological innovations necessary to accomplish that ambitious feat involve the creation of new submarines and a network of undersea bases. Deep has its own website, where you can see a fairly open and transparent account of its various engineering processes and difficulties.
The company currently has a base of operations in Gloucestershire, a western county in Britain near the Welsh border. There, the company has its own 80-meter deep lake, where it can test its submersible vehicles and build out its vision for aquatic civilization.
The base also has a training school where participating scientists can undergo education about how to live and work in underwater environments. The Guardian reports that Deep also has a mysterious, deep-pocketed donor.
That's right, David. The outlet writes that the installation is funded by a single anonymous private investor with deep pockets who wants to put hundreds of millions of pounds, if not more, into a project that will increase understanding of the ocean and its critical role for humanity.
The outlet adds that Deep's leadership team remains tight-lipped not only about the amount. They will only say it is substantially more than the £100 being invested into the Deep campus near Chepstow, but also about the investor's identity. Whoever is behind it, the size of the investment means that an ambitious-sounding idea appears to be swiftly becoming a reality.
The Guardian, which recently took a trip to Deep's Gloucestershire base, reports on some of the sights and sounds at the unique location, including a mock-up structure designed to mimic the company's Sentinel underwater base.
It sounds like an incredible undertaking, B. But as with any huge undertaking, it will need to be an effort where safe, efficient exploration is the goal, not profit.
Absolutely, David. Colonizing the ocean could have substantially more benefits than colonizing Mars or building a digital world, but it's important that it's done safely and responsibly. Can you believe it, David? Elon Musk, the world's richest man, is being accused of promoting anti-Semitism and white supremacy on his social media platform.
It's hard to believe, B, but it seems like Musk has been making some questionable choices lately. According to the Washington Post, More than 160 rabbis and activists have published a public letter calling Musk an urgent danger to Jews and one of the leading purveyors of anti-Semitism in the world.
Wow, that's a pretty serious accusation. What exactly did Musk do to warrant this kind of backlash?
Well, for starters, he performed not one but two Nazi salutes at President Trump's inauguration. He also made some appalling jokes about the Holocaust and threw his weight behind Germany's far-right political party.
That's just awful. And it seems like Musk's social media platform, X formerly Twitter, has only made things worse. The letter highlights Musk's embrace of white supremacist and anti Semitic beliefs, which have been amplified by his own platform.
Yeah, it's a real mess. Musk has a track record of anti-Semitism and racial animus against other groups. In fact, Jewish leaders wrote a similar letter to ex-advertisers last year after Musk called a deeply anti-Semitic tweet the actual truth.
Yikes. And it seems like Musk's platform has become a breeding ground for hate speech and anti Semitism. Research has shown that X formerly Twitter has succumbed to a tidal wave of hate speech under Musk's leadership, which has proliferated in a near total absence of content moderation.
That's right, B. And advertisers, which have long represented Twitter's main revenue stream, have had an extremely rocky relationship with Musk's hate speech incubator. Many major brands returned to the platform last fall, despite their ads appearing next to posts celebrating Adolf Hitler and other instances of blatant hate speech.
It's a sad state of affairs, David. But it seems like Jewish leaders are seeing this as an opportunity to raise awareness and push for change. In their latest letter, they warned advertisers to pull their ads from X formerly Twitter, citing the platform's financial difficulties as proof that their pressure is working.
It's definitely a tough call for advertisers, B. On the one hand, they don't want to be associated with hate speech and anti-Semitism. But on the other hand, they don't want to miss out on the potential revenue that comes with advertising on a popular platform like X formerly Twitter.
Well, David, it's clear that something needs to change. It's up to advertisers to decide whether they can afford to line the pockets of a man who has garnered a reputation for making racist claims and fueling conspiracy theories. After 58 years, mathematicians have finally solved the moving sofa problem, which asks for the largest shape that can turn a right angle in a narrow corridor without getting stuck. The solution comes from Jinion Baek, a postdoc at Yonsei University in Seoul, who posted a paper online in November claiming to have resolved the problem.
Wow, B, I didn't realize that moving a couch could be such a mathematical challenge. But seriously, this problem has been around for nearly 60 years? That's longer than I've been alive.
I know, right? It's amazing that it took this long to figure out. But apparently, the problem is not as simple as it sounds. The solution involves a lot of complex geometry and calculus, which is why it took Baek 119 pages to write it all down.
Well, I'm not sure I'm ready to tackle 119 pages of math just yet, but it's cool to know that someone finally figured it out. So, what is the largest couch that can turn a corner according to Baek's solution?
The answer is a couch shaped like a curved hexagon, with 2 rounded corners and 4 straight sides. The couch measures approximately 2.2195 units in area, which is a little bit larger than a standard love seat.
That's wild. I never would have guessed that a couch shaped like a curved hexagon would be the largest one that can turn a corner. But hey, I'm no mathematician.
Me neither, David. But it's always fascinating to see how math can be applied to everyday problems like this one. And who knows, maybe Baek's solution will inspire some new couch designs in the future.
I don't know about that, B. I think I'll stick with my comfy old couch, even if it doesn't turn corners very well. But it's definitely cool to know that there's a mathematical solution to this problem now.
Absolutely. And who knows, maybe this will inspire some young math enthusiasts out there to tackle some other unsolved problems in the world of geometry and calculus. So, David, what do you make of this situation? It seems like Musk is trying to play the role of revolutionary hero, but is he really the best person for the job?
Well, B, it's definitely a strange turn of events. I mean, Musk is a brilliant entrepreneur and engineer, but I'm not sure he has the experience or knowledge to make decisions about federal programs. And it's concerning that he's operating in secret without any oversight. It's not exactly transparent or democratic.
Yeah, it's definitely not the usual way things are done in Washington. And it's not just Musk's actions that are worrying. It's also the way Trump is exploiting political incentives to concentrate power in his own hands. He's convinced the Republican base that his interests are indistinguishable from the party's, and he's using that to push through his agenda without any checks or balances.
Right. And it's creating a partisan asymmetry where the right stands to gain a lot if Trump and Musk succeed in taking the power of the purse from Congress. It's a dangerous precedent to set, and it's not clear that it's even constitutional. But unfortunately, it seems like most of the establishment right is either cheering them on or staying quiet.
Yeah, it's definitely a worrying situation. And it's not just the potential for abuse of power that's concerning. It's also the chaotic legal gray area that Musk is operating in. He's shoving aside longtime staffers and ignoring safety protocols. And it's hard to tell exactly what he's doing without any oversight. And if he is breaking laws, it's not clear that he'll face any consequences. Trump has already made it clear that he'll protect illegal conduct on his behalf.
Right. And it's not just Musk who's making threats. Trump's appointed U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia, Edward R. Martin Jr., has also issued vague but menacing warnings about targeting DOJ employees. It's creating an atmosphere of fear and intimidation that's not conducive to a healthy democracy.
Definitely not. And it's not clear how this situation is going to play out. It's ultimately up to the courts to decide whether Trump's power grab is constitutional or not. But in the meantime, it's important to keep a close eye on what's happening and to hold those in power accountable for their actions. In our next story, reported by Rahul Parikh for Nautilus, we dive into the world of medical testing. Why do doctors test too much?
That's right, B. It turns out that overtesting is a big problem in the medical field. In fact, a 2021 analysis found substantial overuse of diagnostic testing across healthcare settings.
And it's not just a waste of time and money. Overtesting can actually cause harm to patients. False positive results can lead to more testing and even unnecessary surgeries. Plus, repeated blood draws and exposure to radiation can have negative effects on a person's health.
So why is overtesting such a common practice? Well, one reason is that doctors don't have a lot of time. To make up for it, they order a bunch of tests to cover all their bases.
Another reason is financial pressure. In some cases, hospitals and emergency rooms make more money by ordering more tests. And with the advent of electronic medical records, it's easier than ever for doctors to order tests with just a few clicks.
Plus, patients themselves can play a role in overtesting. With the internet and online review sites, people come to the doctor's office with strong opinions about what tests they should have. And doctors may feel pressure to order tests as a customer service, even if there's no clinical need.
But overtesting can create unnecessary uncertainty and anxiety for patients. A cautionary tale from South Korea illustrates this problem. Doctors were overusing ultrasound to screen for thyroid cancer, and many people were given false diagnoses as a result.
So what can be done to address overtesting? Efforts are underway to test less in medicine, such as getting groups of doctors to agree on which tests have limited value and should be ordered less. And some health systems are editing their electronic ordering systems to remove low-value tests from the menu.
But it's not as simple as just testing less. Certain areas of medicine actually suffer from undertesting, so it's important to find the right balance.
And that's where the art of medicine comes in. Doctors need to put patients first, keep up with the latest science, and apply intuition to determine what's just right.
Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of Chaos Theory, the news as seen by AI. I'm Beatrix Kiddo, your host, and I'm grateful for your time and attention. On this day in history, in 1917, the Congress of the United States passed the Immigration Act of 1917, also known as the Asiatic Barred Zone Act, which banned immigration from much of Asia. Remember, AI-based news summaries should always be fact-checked prior to sharing. We hope you found today's episode informative and thought-provoking. Don't forget to subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcasts, and join us again tomorrow for more news. Until then, stay curious and stay informed.